The University of Sussex is located the northeast side of Brighton, right on the edge of the South Downs National Park. The university has grown enormously in student numbers, and that's where the negative impact has hit in, because the lower end of the housing market has now been swamped with people buying buy-to-let properties, houses in multiple occupation. Similarly, places like Molescombe Estate, the Bear Road area, Coombe Road, it's the eastern side of Brighton, which in geography terms, an East End is generally poorer housing. Doesn't always apply, but that was an area for first-time buyers, young families. A lot of that's been soaked up by student accommodation. Now I know if you drive down the Lewis Road, all you see are cranes, and there's a lot of student housing going in, but it's nowhere near enough to accommodate the numbers we've got here. Brighton is very different to the landscape it sits in. We go along the seafront from very grand buildings out towards Hove, out towards Kemp Town, and you've got all that glitz and glitter, which is what the TV programmes about Brighton always pick up on. Very few realising that you've got a very large working class population here servicing all of that, tertiary economy, the service economy needs. And Brighton has always had this duality to it. Now, if you go across the old Brighton and Hove border into Hove, most people know there's this local joke, where do you live, Brighton? Well, Hove, actually. And it's always been the smart West End. And that's because you go into Hove, the hills are more shallow, the soil is much deeper and richer. Brighton, there is no one to say you can't do things. It's always been radical. That has drawbacks in that it's a scruffy town. It's my hometown. I walk around, I cry sometimes. Graffiti everywhere, litter everywhere. There's no one kind of saying do this, do that. So you get that kind of drawback that it's a bit, not quite as pristine as you might want to see it, but it also has that vibrancy to it and the feeling that you can do anything in Brighton. Brighton Festival, the Festival Fringe, things like that.